Thank you for joining us for episode number 24 of Four Comedians in a Hat. I am your gracious host, the most successful comic to ever come out of Pevely, Missouri, Vincent Opper, coming at you from my nerd cave in Pevely, Missouri. We have three wonderful comics with us today, but before I introduce them, I do want to remind you, if you're watching on Mac or PC, on the bottom right-hand corner, you see an icon. Please click on that. That way you can subscribe to our YouTube channel and you can keep up with all that we're doing, not just with Four Comedians in a Hat, but with Gateway Comedy Scene. If you're on a different platform, just go to YouTube, type in Gateway Comedy Scene and like us there. If you're on Facebook, and who isn't on Facebook, please like us at Gateway Comedy Scene Friends. And if you are on Instagram, you can follow us at Four Comedians in a Hat. All the housekeeping is done. Are you ready to meet the comics?
Woo!
Yes, we are. Okay. Yeah. Immediately to my right, we have Goldberg. Everybody give Goldberg a big hand.
Thank you.
What up, Goldberg?
Goldberg, tell us about yourself.
All right. My name is Goldberg. Now I know what you're thinking. I'm not the wrestler, but I am the wrestler. This is what the wrestler looks like after 15 months in the pandemic. This is it, guys. I haven't gone to the gym in forever. They said flatten the curve. I thought they said fatten the curve. Gained 40 damn pounds. But listen, I have a bunch of shows coming up. But this Saturday, I'm in the finals of the Cheap Comedy Fest on Saturday, 6 o'clock Eastern Time. Watch it on Zoom, and you can follow me on Twitter at Goldberg _comic. But please follow me quickly, because apparently they found out I spent a weekend at Trump Taj Mahal, and they want to kick me off Twitter. So, follow me. Good being here.
Okay. Our next comedian, right underneath Goldberg, we have Nicole Gory. Everybody give Nicole a big hand.
Woo!
Hi. Nicole, tell us about yourself.
Well, I am in the middle of a midlife crisis. I got two adorable kids. I love comedy, I love marijuana, and I love making fun of things you're not supposed to.
All right.
And I have like 9 kittens right now, like 9 in my house. Like, people got to take them. I'm going to send you pictures after the show. Like, we got a lot of cats in my house.
And I want you to know, Vincent, Nicole has been the first woman that's been under me in about 6 years. So.
I'm thinking her house smell like a whole lot of pussy in that house, boy. But
all right, and directly underneath me, the first time I've had a man underneath me in a long time. Everybody, welcome Rickysmoove Morris. Give Rickysmoove a big hand.
What's up, people? My name is Rickysmoove. My name is Rickysmoove. I am a comedian from Pittsburgh. You know, go Steelers. I am CEO and president of Black Diamond Syndicate. I've been doing comedy off and on since 2003, and I'm the king of weird shit. Anything and everything that can happen, happen to me.
All right.
I might have some competition with you there. No.
Yeah, Rickysmoove, you said go Steelers. The Steelers are pretty good. Why don't you get the Pirates to go? They suck, man.
You know what? For the last 22 out of 25 years, they have really tanked. I mean, the Pirates are like the bastard child of the sports industry. We don't really claim them unless they're doing good. You know, they do good all the way up to July, and then they'll choke and tank all the way the rest of the season. Not the Pirates, because we ain't got nobody like the Penguins. The Penguins used to be sorry. They used to be pathetic until we got Mario, and then Mario. I've met Mario, but that's another story. But
wait, there's a team called the Penguins.
Yeah,
the hockey team.
I'm not a sports person, but I love that's the cutest name for a baseball team. Or is it baseball?
Hockey.
Is it hockey? Oh, see, that's why I don't know.
And then the sad part is we had a place called the Civic Arena, and it was nicknamed the Igloo because of the Penguins. And then we got Sidney Crosby. Sid the Kid, I met him too. Another story. But he was trying to do something, but Sid's getting old now because he been playing for the Penguins for like the last 10, 12 years. He's getting old, his moves ain't as crisp as they used to be, so he's slowing down just a little bit. So I mean, the Steelers is all we got. We can't keep a hoop team. Oh, excuse me. We don't have a lacrosse team and whatever. So the Steelers is all we got. And we can't claim Pitt, University of the Panthers, because they ain't doing nothing. And Penn State, ever since that Jerry Sandusky drama, we don't
Yeah.
claim we don't claim Penn State. I think I
Well,
went quiet when I said Penn State.
in St.
No,
Louis,
that's Ivy
Penn
League.
State
I
killed
don't know
the-
anything
killed the
about that.
conversation.
St. Louis also.
You know,
we
the
have-
Pirates used to be a great team when I was growing up.
Goldberg, are you ready for your first question?
I am ready. Once when I
Okay.
was 17, but I didn't know they were sisters.
Goldberg, would you rather listen to music from the 70s or music from today?
Oh, hands down, the 70s. I am a big time Grateful Dead head. Love going to concerts. I can't wait to go to a live concert. I used to, 30 years ago, I used to go to concerts. I used to bring my drugs, my pot, my acid. Now I still go to concerts and I'm bringing my drugs, my Motrin, my Maalox, my children's aspirin just in case. My doctor said, "Oh, you got to have children's aspirin just in case you're thinking you're having a heart attack." I take a bottle of this crap every day. It's ridiculous during this pandemic. But definitely the 70s, man. Love 70s music. The Doors, Grateful Dead, Jackson Brown. I love songs with words,
Yeah.
So definitely the 70s for me.
Yeah.
They even have music today?
Yeah, it's called trap music.
I love like today's music. The only reason why I would love to do the 70s though is because you can go to a music festival without having to go through a metal detector, and they didn't search your purse back then. Today going to a large scale festival is exhausting. They have so many more rules and regulations. Back then, I brought your weed, listened to music, and it was chill. Or so I imagine.
Also, the concerts back then was so much. I would go to a concert back then. I used to pack an overnight bag. They were like 5-hour sets. Now you do like 40 minutes and they're done. It's just, no, definitely 70s music.
What about you, Rickysmoove?
You know what? And it's funny because you asked that question. Because before we came on live, I was talking about going to a concert down here in Point State Park. I would like to go to a 70s. I'm a 70s baby. I was born in 73. I like Earth, Wind, and Fire, Stevie Wonder, Teddy Pendergrass. I grew up with Chicago, the Bee Gees, from one end of the spectrum to the other. I like the 70s music because of the fact that 70s back then it was talking about political power. Or if it wasn't talking about political power, it was talking or political empowerment, it was talking about making love, Because I'm a lover, I'm not a fighter. Today's music is about bang bang and selling drugs and all that weird stuff, which that's this. I mean, I'm just getting older. I don't know. I'm 47, and I just shake my head at today's music. Give me some Cool and Gang. Give me some, like I said, Climax is coming to Pittsburgh. I want to go see them perform. I mean, I've had a Climax, but I've never seen a Climax. So yeah,
So what you're really saying though is that you want a music that you can fuck to. So what if somebody was like Power to the People, but it was like a sexy Marvin Gaye kind of thing? Would that be a good okay? Like, you're saying like it's about making love. So what if like the lyrics were totally just like opposite of the feeling of the song?
You know what? As far as Marvin Gaye, I'm not a real big Marvin Gaye fan because he turned me off. When I saw him, I saw a video of him, and he had on a turtleneck, a toboggan, I mean, he was indoors. It was just too hot for me. He was, you know, but
So you don't
again,
like him because of his wardrobe?
That was really no turtleneck.
Yeah. Wardrobe. I'm a vain bastard. I ain't gonna lie. Clothes is everything to me. But I love the Temptations. In fact, my first start as Rickysmoove, performing under the name Rickysmoove, was being a Temptation in a musical play called The Legend of Motown. But that's another story. So yeah, I love the '70s music. Peace, love, harmony, political empowerment, all that. We need to bring that back. We really do.
I like
I
the
agree.
movies, the music from the '70s much better. I really could not tell you a contemporary song. I quit listening to new music about 15 years ago because I realized it was just going in a direction that, then when you get older, you just kind of
That's because you gotta find the indie music though. For not the stuff that put it on the radio. You gotta look. Yeah, you just gotta
My
look.
daughter is 24. I took her a few years ago to a Travis Scott concert. It was apparently very big. I didn't know him back then. But he kept playing the same song, and the name of the song was "Make Some Fucking Noise, New Jamaica." 45 minutes, that's all I could decipher what he's. I mean, it was ridiculous. No, there are very few like real musicians now. I mean, Imagine Dragons I really like. They have like some good lyrics and stuff like that. But very few other bands that you can.
And nowadays,
very few songs that you can sing along to.
And nowadays, music ain't just music anymore. Somebody got a dog.
Yeah.
But, it's like subcategories. Like a couple years back, I lived in the small town, 3 hours away from Pittsburgh, in a little trailer park, which I swore I would never live in a trailer park. But anyway, and they came up. They got this music that I came up with a new name for it. It's called trailer park trap music. Because it was a little bit of country, a little bit of bluegrass. It was a little bit of metal, a little bit of acid rock. I mean, it was a little bit of everything, but appropriate, and at 3:00 in the morning, and me being the only person of color in my community, I got annoyed. I'm getting annoyed because why am I hearing this kind of music? Loud music at 3 a.m. I just found that very disturbing. So I call that trailer park trap music. I mean,
I would picture trailer park trap as like two people fighting over a meth deal and a bunch of cats meowing.
It sounded like a real bad 9 Inch Nails concert. That's what to me it sounded like.
All right, Nicole, are you ready for your first question?
Yes.
What would you do if you did not have to work?
Ooh, I would do so many things. Oh my gosh. Okay, so the one thing I've had this plan forever is I want to buy a food truck and I want to go all over the country. And I want to infuse it with different marijuanas from that region, stuff like that, different strains and everything else. And I want to feed people this amazing food, and plus regular food too that's not infused. But I want to buy from that local economy and those local places and their farmers and things like that, and collect art across the way. And then I want to feed all the leftovers to the homeless. And then I want to do a big show where I display all the flavors and types of cooking that I learned along the way. And that's just number one.
Have you looked into the legality of this? And
yes, it's not good. This is a total, if we were living where the government didn't want so much money from us.
This is strange because we have a friend who grows, and that's been kind of her business plan for the past 4 or 5 years, to do a food truck where she took edibles around.
That's
and
cool.
I was just curious if anyone's looked into, in the states where it's legal, like Illinois, is that something you can do or is there just
getting there? There's this place that actually on May 23rd, they're having a Partake in the Park event in Swansea, Illinois. And that's pretty much what they're doing right now, is trying to navigate the legalities between Missouri and Illinois. And they're doing a food, they have like infused nachos, infused barbecue, everything you could think of. Like, so I'm going to go out there on May 23rd and just kind of be like, what's up? How do I get started in this? And kind of pick their brains and eat some of their food.
If I didn't have to work, I would do stand-up comedy.
really?
Yeah. But, you know, I may get there because I heard that Bill Gates is divorcing and Bezos is divorcing. So those are two middle-aged women out there that are available. So I'm looking, I'm trying to hook up with them on Twitter or something like that.
Isn't
We're
that
trying to get
Tinder?
that Alex.
Tinder, well, I don't think I think they're too good for Tinder. I don't think Mrs. Gates is going to go on Tinder. Can you imagine? It would blow
Imagine if she
up.
was.
Can you imagine? It would blow up. Tinder would just blow up if she got on Tinder.
She would break the algorithms for how many
Right.
right swipes you can get.
Everyone would be swiping to hell, you know?
I wouldn't download Tinder. My wife would download it for me and say, here, go for this one.
I am so old. I thought the Tinder app you used it to order firewood. I didn't know crap about this. I don't know any of that stuff.
It's funny y'all say Tinder, because I remember back in the day, we used to have these 976 numbers. And
Right?
wait. See, one year I turned 15, and that summer I ran my mother's phone bill $1,500, $1,700, $2,100 consecutively.
It's true. Because you were a kid, you got the number, you had no idea how much it was.
Yeah,
And then the
you know.
phone bill came at the end of the month, and you made up like ridiculous stories.
See, all I try to do was call Miss Cleo and see if my crush is gonna, marry me someday. So,
No, but
which
my
would
thing
also
was,
bring up a phone bill, but it's much more pure than what you guys are talking about.
but see, what I did was I would intercept the mail and try to pull it off until one day the phone. I didn't realize that at some point the phone will get cut off. I just started seeing the
You had
bill.
no clue.
Okay,
Let's just,
what did your mother do?
let's just say that summer I wore nothing but turtlenecks and long pants. Yeah. Whew.
And then,
Dude,
she,
it's-
The baby Martha Gay was abused too.
and then she got you a subscription to Hustler and said, here, this is much cheaper. Have fun.
So instead of like my father, when he used to say, "Oh, I walk 2 miles a day to school," we could say, "Yeah, I used to listen to 976 numbers. Cost me 50 cents a minute, and you can do it for free." It's so true. Even like magazines. I lived in the park, and there was a rock where people left the porno magazine. And everyone would take it and then put it back under the rock.
Oh, that's
None of us got any diseases that we
that
know
sounds
of.
just dirty. Oh no, that's
I
like,
can't read nobody else's magazines, man. I can't read nobody else's.
That's what we did.
No, you both. I can't. I just can't. Because when we was younger, we used to gather around. Because my dad, he had like a stack of them. You know what I'm saying? And like my mom my mom be at work. My dad, he was like a Rolling Stone. He come and go, whatever. So me and my buddies, we would go to my mom's room, pull out the stack of magazines, and we ain't know no better.
Matter of fact, Playboy had like an algorithm. So like if a magazine circulation was 10,000 with Playboy and those other magazines, they estimated it like for every person that buys it, like 6 people share it or something like that, and they would charge advertisers extra because of that.
I didn't know that. That's actually very interesting. Wow. It's kind of how Netflix started charging people, extra for like having extra screens because they knew that people were sharing their passwords.
Right.
Naughtier.
Same concept.
I got 5 kids, and only one lives with me now. The rest are out of the house. We have shared passwords for Netflix, Hulu, MLB TV, just everything you can imagine.
That's when you know you're rich, when you don't have to share passwords.
Yeah. It's when you've made it in comedy, when you tell your kids, hey, get your own goddamn password, okay?
Right.
Right.
All right, Rickysmoove, are you ready for your first question?
Yep, sir.
What failure have you learned the most from?
There's so many I can't tell you. Failure in marriage. My marriage was after 15 years, I learned next time it don't work out, cut it short a whole lot sooner. You know. But in all honesty, we both knew it wasn't gonna be forever. It's just that neither one of us wanted to admit that we were failing at something, you know. And then when my thing was, we be married and she still would be having children outside the marriage. You know, not once, not twice, but 3 times. I'm like, okay, this is it. You know, apparently
That's 3 times, and that was it. 3 babies that were yours.
Yeah. I mean, she came in with a baby. Okay, fine. You know, and you know that was my little man. You know what I'm saying? You know, and we was a happy little family, so to speak. You know, then she cheated on me. I cheated on her. But see, her goofy ass, she didn't believe in birth control. No, actually, she didn't believe in either saying no or she didn't believe in pull out or something. There was something she was lacking in belief in, and then she got 3 children. So, man, yeah, I would say being married, that was my biggest failure. But like I said, we both knew it was going to last forever. She even told me I was her batting. She was my starter wife. You know, she would tell me that, this ain't gonna last forever. You're gonna find somebody better than me. Da da da, bada boom, and she was right. You know, so I mean, we're still social or civil. I would say civil to this day. But yeah, being married 15 years, that's brutal.
My biggest failure is being a Jets fan. And I still am. I don't know why.
Nicole, if you're a sports fan, you would know how funny that is.
I don't know any.
Right.
Like, I'm just gonna nod and smile like I do though.
And matter of fact, you may want to know this because of COVID. You know, I asked the doctor. I said, "What type of mask should I wear?" And I said, "Should I wear an N95, K95, surgical cloth mask?" You know what he told me? Write this down. It's important. Wear a Jets mask, Jets. Because if you're wearing that, you're not catching a damn thing.
Woo!
That's what he told me. So, yeah.
Nicole, biggest failure.
Because I know about shit talking baseball teams. So we always
Actually, I agree with Ricky just in terms of biggest failure. You know, my first marriage, you look back and you say, like, what the hell? You know, you get into relationships sometimes and you realize even at the time, you realize it's not like whatever you love but you just jump in more than you should, I think. So I guess that's one of my biggest failure.
Oh, wait a minute, not to cut you off, or to piggyback onto what you're saying. How about you ever be in a relationship and didn't realize you got into a relationship?
Oh, yeah.
And just start off casual sex.
Yeah, a situationship. Those things.
Not now. They start off with casual sex, and then you spend one night, you spend 2 nights, and you're meeting the children, and then next thing you know, y'all going out on picnics and doctor's appointments, and
And then you opened the medicine cabinet, and she left her feminine products there, right? What the hell? Take them home, please.
Yeah, or
charge me, or I'll charge you for subletting.
When she said, "All right, babe, I'll see you when I get home," I'm like, "Home?" And then I looked around and I see all her stuff. All of a sudden, I can see all her stuff. You know what I'm saying? Her tennis shoes, her work uniform. You know what I'm saying? You go upstairs and you see her woman fire. I'm like, no. She got
This
to go.
happens to women too. I've always been the one that had the house because I have a thing for homeless men. So they always like one like had a cot in his friend's basement when I met him, and then all of a sudden he started, like you said, moving his guitar. I was like, oh, he got front the guitar, okay. Then his computer was there. Then his clothes all ended up there, and I was just like, wait, are we? I had to actually have on Easter. He invited his family over, and I was like, wait, I'm cooking for you. Are we living together? Like. Yeah, so it like women, we have to put up with that shit all the time too.
Should be questionnaires people fill out before they get into these relationships, you know?
Yes.
Or like you hook up with someone and then you're leaving, they say, call me when you get home. It's like, what? Why should I call you when I get home?
Well, my thing is, like I said, you don't realize, and this, I just got out of a relationship in February. Long story short, I'm full of long stories, but anyway, I realized that not everybody's raised the same way. So from now on, especially after I'm in this current relationship now, I'm doing more of a background check on people. You know, not the I don't care about the credit scores. I don't care about criminal history. You know, I don't give a damn about none of that. I need to know basic things like, can I smoke weed in your house? Okay. Can I trust you not to drink up all the Coca-Cola? Okay. Can I trust you, you know, not to get mad if I forget to put the seat down? You know, stuff like that. That's what I need. That's what you need to know a person, you know. All the other stuff, where they went to school, what religion, that's minor details, you know.
Only things that essentially are about you. That's just like a man.
Well, you start moving in my house, you know, these things I need to know.
I feel like a spectator watching a fight. This is pretty cool. So Goldberg, are you ready for your second question?
Sure.
If you could live in any sitcom, which one would it be?
Which sitcom would it be? That's interesting. Honestly, I kind of think my favorite sitcom, and I can't believe I'm even going to admit this, but it's true. I love the Mary Tyler Moore Show.
Oh,
And
Wow.
I don't know why. I just did. I love Lou Grant. I would probably choose that. I just love the characters in that show more than any other show. And they were on the news team, so there was stuff to do. I don't know. I think that's the one I would pick. And I can't believe I'm saying that. And I can't believe everyone's going to know now. But yeah, that's the one. That would be the one. I love Ted Knight. Love the news. Sue Ann Nivens. I mean, I know I'm dating myself, but I used to stay up. I used to be up on, you know, back then you didn't have cable when 100 million channels. It was on Channel 4 at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. And I stayed up every night to watch the reruns of that show. Love that.
Wow.
Remember when
When she
TV went
threw up
off?
her hat, it never came down. In the credits, she throws up her hat and never comes down. It's still
Yeah,
up
no-
there. Go look for it.
see, mine would have to be a toss up, and these are the two not similar. All in the Family or Golden Girls. I used to love All in the Family, and I really want to argue with Archie Bunker, and I just want to get him really pissed off. And yeah, I love All the Family is one of the best. I think, yeah, like it doesn't age well, but it's fucking hilarious. And then Golden Girls, they got cheesecake, so.
I want to go with the Cosby Show. Before I found out Bill Cosby was, you know, either it would have to be, or actually, you know what? I'm gonna go out on a limb and I would say have my own spinoff. You know, from the Cosby between the Cosby Show and y'all remember the Different World?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That was
you
with
know,
Lisa Bonet, right? Was that Lisa Bonet?
yeah, I had the
Yeah.
biggest crush on her.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah, I
Beautiful
would
girl.
say, yeah, her, Jasmine Guy, you know, a lot of those people. But I would say, no, I would Cosby Show and Martin. Yeah, I used to love Martin. Martin used to crack me up.
I
You
love
know what?
Martin.
Get the step in. He used to kill me and kick people out the house. Get the step in, you know. So yeah.
I would. There's two that I love. Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Oh
I,
yeah.
I would love to be on that. And I would just love to be one of his friends who's trying to talk some sense into him and get into these stupid arguments. Also, there's a British sitcom that's my favorite of all time called The IT Crowd. It's just so
What is
complete.
it called?
The IT Crowd.
Okay.
It's just completely off the wall, and the episodes are all so well written. And that's one of the advantages that British sitcoms have. You know, they have a season of 6 to 8, whereas we have like 22. So their seasons are shorter.
They know when to
Writing's
end
much
stuff.
tighter.
I love
Yeah.
BBC channel. Yeah. They know when to stop.
Yeah.
Do you-
They don't jump the shark. They end the shows before they jump the shark, which is good.
Do you remember when you talk about British TV? Do you remember Keep Up Appearances and Are You Being Served?
By name, yes. Are You Being Served sounds familiar. My wife
Are You
is
Being
really big into British sitcoms. She would know it.
Are You Being Served? Its setting was they was in a department store, you know, and there was always crazy antics in the department store. And Keep Up Appearances was about this one lady. She was always in everybody's business.
Oh,
You
yeah.
know?
The older lady who wanted to be like in high society.
Yeah, on with her
Highest,
husband Onslow. Yeah.
Yeah, that was great. Yeah, that'd be fun too.
Monty Python would be a blast as well.
What's that?
Monty Python.
Mhm.
Oh yeah.
They had a show on it was on PBS here. It was so funny.
Yeah, that's where I first got introduced to British sitcoms, because the PBS station in St. Louis would have Monty Python, Faulty Towers, The Goodies, all those old British sitcoms from the 60s and 70s, and just kind of stuck with British sitcoms since then. Nicole, are you ready for your second question?
I am, but somebody just decided to mow their lawn when I'm trying to do this, so it's so loud here right now.
Oh yeah, I see them in back of you mowing.
Yeah. I'm waiting for a giant blade to come and decapitate you. So.
Right.
All right, Nicole.
It's the new Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. Yeah.
What book has
I'm ready.
influenced you greatly, and how?
Okay, so I'm going to talk about the first fantasy book I ever read. It was The Mists of Avalon, and it was one of the best. It's Marion Bradley Zimmerman, I think it is. It was a twist on the King Arthur legend, and it told of all the women behind it. And it was very much around the time when paganism and witchcraft and like druids were, and the Wicca, you know, pagan stuff, and was becoming big. And it was just, I don't know, it just really changed the way I thought about religion, and made me fall in love with fantasy books, and also made me really interested in history and medieval times and King Arthur legend. And it was really cool because it was like as like a 12-year-old girl, I saw myself in these strong female characters. And I'm just realizing that talking about this with 3 dudes probably not gonna relate to that too much, but it was a badass book, and you should read it. But the author kind of sucks and turned out to be a piece of shit, but her writing is still amazing.
When you said it was a fantasy book, I thought for sure the title was going to be Fourth Man In. Gentlemen.
Uh-oh, we thought the lawnmower got you.
I gotta go get something to drink.
You disappeared from the screen. I'm like, oh my God, the lawnmower really got her.
I didn't even notice that this was grass. It looked green. And I was just trying to pick something that would not show the weirdness that's going on in my kitchen right now.
Gentlemen, what book has influenced you greatly?
Well, there were a lot of books on spirituality and Kabbalah I read, but the book that I think that influenced me the greatest is it's my favorite book of all time. If you haven't read it, read it. Read it. Go out. The World According to God. I just love that book. It's just about God and his own individual craziness, and I really realized that everyone has their own craziness and their own nuttiness, and instead of like trying to deny it, it kind of got me to embrace my own craziness. I mean, there's a part in the book where a plane crashes into a house, and he says, "Oh, we're going to buy the house now because what's the chance of two planes crashing into the house?" It is a hysterical book. The movie doesn't give it justice, even though it's with Robin Williams. But read the book. I just love that book. It's my favorite book of all time.
I want to say the autobiography of Malcolm X. I mean, I say that, I mean, this is a comedy show and everything. Yeah. But, honestly, read about Malcolm X, how he became this petty thief into this, uh, I want to say, political figure, with very deep and very insightful. And that tells me two things. One, don't never discount anybody because that person who's a thug right now, he might grow up to be, the next political figure, the next powerful political figure of our generation. And the other thing it tells me is that if I write a book, I can make movies. I gotta be careful about my movie rights because now, nowadays any book could be a movie just like that. So yeah.
I will choose two books. For those of you who don't know, I did spend 10 years as a minister. So book number one would be the Bible. I don't think the Bible is a magic book, but I think it is a very fascinating book on human behavior, our understanding of the world and trying to make sense of it. And it's so complex. And I think it's hilarious how religious people try to make it into something it definitely is not. And that's a recipe book to make your life better. Because when you read the Bible, the one thing that should come out is that we're all fucked up and we've always been fucked up. That's just kind of the way it is. Second book would be a book that I read in graduate school called Pedagogy of the Oppressed.
Oh, I remember that book. I read that.
And that's the first time I really got out of my bubble of Midwestern boy into there are people all over this world that are oppressed and kept down. And I didn't know how to formulate it at that time because the term wasn't around, but this was the early 90s. I realized then I had what is now known as white privilege that most people don't have. And so that kind of influenced how it was a paradigm shift on how I viewed myself in the world, because up to then, my world centered around myself, like most young people it does. And then I read that and I realized, man, I've got it so good, being raised in what would be considered upper lower class, in my neighborhood. In comparison to the world, I'm a rich, privileged human being. So that influenced the way I just looked at things. And I know there's nothing funny there, but
I could never understand why Bibles were in every hotel rooms. I never could understand that because, like, if people who were reading the Bible, wouldn't they take their Bible with them? Like, why would you? Seriously, I mean, like, why would you have a Bible in every hotel room?
Well, if you think about a lot of sex workers frequent, but I know there's an answer behind this, and I read it somewhere, but I don't remember what it is. But a lot of sex workers are in there. A lot of people who are traveling, transient, cheap motels like that. I mean, they're probably trying to reach out to those people because they're just like, you guys are heathens and need Jesus. That's just my theory.
But you ever notice that people Yeah, I've noticed there's been a hotel. There's always a Bible in every hotel room that I've been in, and then also that's the one thing you will not steal. You know what I'm saying? People have stolen irons because I used to do security at a hotel. You know,
I don't know. I stole some pages. Have you ever rolled a blunt with the? I mean, I didn't roll it. I can't roll.
You're
it.
the one. They're looking for you.
no, I
The
can't. I
Hyatt
can't.
is looking for you.
That's sacred book. That's sacred book. I couldn't use that, but people steal towels. They steal pillows. But and you never see nobody steal a Bible. That's kind of.
All right. Working at a hotel, I did a lot of sales in my life, and I did a lot of traveling. And in hotels, people would keep their porn magazines between the mattresses. So the next person coming in, could have some evening entertainment or anything. Did you ever turn up a mattress and find a porno magazine?
Oh my God. Yeah.
All right.
It was and it's a true story. It was a professional conference. And you know how like afterward you check under the bed if there's something. And I found like a stash of, they were like the most disgusting porn magazines you could imagine. And I'm like, I'm not going to touch them. And then I'm like, wait a minute, what if I check out and someone finds it and the maid thinks it's me? Because I don't even think this stuff was legal. It was like, it was horrible. So then I decided, well, I'm gonna get rid of it. I'm gonna throw it out. But like I'm walking and I'm really trying to figure out how do I get rid of this stuff where it doesn't come back to me. So I put it in someone's luggage, someone named Jared, and that was it.
So I found worse than porn in a hotel or motel before. I was in St. Louis, and this was back when I was 18. It's my I was on the streets. I was a little crackhead with my ex, and we ran out of crack, and he was looking in every part of the room to see if and all of a sudden he pulls something out, and we found a blow up doll in where the neck was supposed to go, like underneath his sink. We didn't know what it was, so we were touching this big old plastic thing, and we unroll it out, and it's just a whole blow-up doll. And I immediately was like, I don't know how much fluid's been on this thing. I don't know how they got it stuffed in there. But yeah, it was that was disgusting.
You say the least.
All right. We need to finish this up. Rickysmoove, are you ready for the last question?
Bring it.
All right. Drum roll, please. If you could rid the world of what thing, what would it be?
Donald Trump. Because, I like Donald when he was the apprentice, okay? I like him then, you know what I'm saying? But see, here's the thing though, somewhere between being on the apprentice and now, he got in somebody's head to become president, okay, fine. So you became president and then you lost, okay? You lose, and then instead of just bowing out gracefully, you want to cause a ruckus. You want to get people, him, Rudy Giuliani, John Jr., who look like a loan shark, or who look like a used cell cars, man. But anyway, you got these guys up there talking about trial by fire and trial by combat and all this stuff. So you got all these people amped up to go attack the Capitol. Like Billy Crystal said, have fun storming the castle. What makes you think that you could take down the United States government? I mean, what was y'all smoking? Because I want to smoke that. I'm a pothead, okay? I ain't never smoked nothing like that made me think that I want to take down the United States government, And then the sad part is, all these people are getting hemmed up, getting fired, getting arrested, because like, we're in a day of technology where they got cameras everywhere, okay? And you mean to tell me that nobody thought, gee, I gotta go to work in the morning. I got a high-paying job making hundreds of thousands of dollars a year, and here I am in the middle of a ruckus that could mess me up for the rest of my natural life. I mean, and meanwhile, he's getting on pretty much with a slap on the wrist. Yeah. So I will rid the world of Donald Trump. That's just my opinion. I'm not trying to get into politics, but I do think that Trump really that was a black he left a black eye in the history of America.
Anybody got an answer other than Donald Trump?
Fuck Donald Trump, but
Bringer
capitalism-
shows. I get rid of bringer shows.
Capitalism. I've rid of no more capitalism in the world. I think
I
that would
get
solve
rid
a
of-
lot of problems.
I get rid of bringer shows, It's like ridiculous bringer shows. Oh, you can be on my show, but you have to bring 7 people. And now, in New Jersey, because of the COVID things, now they have to rearrange it, so you have to bring 2 people, but it's a 12-drink minimum. That's ridiculous.
Yeah,
You
that
drink
is
12
crazy.
drinks. So I'd probably get rid of world hunger. And what else would I get rid of? I'd get rid of Kardashians. That's it. The Kardashians.
If I had the power, I'd get rid of global warming. That would solve a lot of problems. It wouldn't kill Donald Trump, but it would give us a much more fertile farmland and a broader spectrum, being our farmland is shrinking due to global warming because our deserts are expanding and our population is growing.
You know what would help? Getting rid of capitalism. Then we can tackle the global warming.
You're going to have to talk to my daughter one day. Yeah, she's anti-capitalist all the way. So
She sounds fun.
all right, we do need to wrap this up.
Right?
So I do want to thank our guest once more. A big hand for Goldberg. Good job. And a big hand for Nicole Gory. Thank you, Nicole. And finally, a big hand for Rickysmoove Morris. Remember to like us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram, and more importantly, go to YouTube and like us at Gateway Comedy Scene and look for our subpage 4 Comedians in a Hat. Thank you.
Thank
Thanks for
you.
having me.
Thank you.